Hey everyone, Reptijon here. This is a video I would like to make. This is a video that I should have made right at the start of my YouTube channel. Some videos is actually how to care for bearded dragons. A lot of people have been making these videos for how to sing, how to handle them, my bearded dragon enclosure, but I think I should make one of just how to care for them. I've had my bearded dragon for about 4 days now, and he's fine. So I'd like to go through the process of how to handle your bearded dragons, how to care for them, all that type of stuff. Okay, first of all, you have to start off with the enclosure and the heating elements and all that for that. The bearded dragon enclosure, don't forget, bearded dragons get to about 2 foot long. So I have a 4 foot enclosure, so that's half of my enclosure. So when you think about it, it's that to that. You might not know the dimensions of it, but it's quite long. But that's 2 foot. So don't forget, you need to get a cage and enclosure that are suitable for them. Like, as you can see, I have a little guy. He's not even, I think he's about, I haven't measured him yet, he's about, 7 or 8 inches. Not very big at all. This is actually quite too big for him, but you should always think about the money going into buying your cage. You don't want to buy an enclosure which is about 2 or 3 foot, wait till he gets old enough, and then go out and buy another one. So you might as well save your money and invest on a big cage. I'm getting this cage is for 2 bearded dragons. I've only got one in here, but I'm getting another one soon. I'm hopefully getting a female. And I made a mistake on what he is. He's 100% het hypo to 100% het translucent. So that's his breed. He's a central bearded dragon. Okay, what you need in his enclosure, you obviously need the tank, the heat bulb. A lot of people have issues with heat bulbs, as heat bulbs can be quite expensive, but I tend to, it's good to invest on a good heat bulb which gives you enough heat. Like, this has been on for an hour and the temperature, it's going to get a bit more than that. It's going to get to about 37 degrees is what he really needs, but it reaches that within limited time. The decor is up to you. It's optional. You don't need it. What you need for bearded dragons is obviously the enclosure, a hide, so it can be elevated from the floor so it can get closer to the heat lamp. A UVB bulb. I've already spoken about this, but a UVB bulb is absolutely essential, especially for young bearded dragons. If you're buying an old bearded dragon that's healthy and strong, maybe not so much. You might not need that big of a deal of a UVB. But UVB is essential because for young bearded dragons, UVB is a light ray that the sun gives when they're indoors, as they're not close to a window, as they're indoors, they need this, as it helps with their bone structure and their growth. The plants, like I said, are optional. You 100% need, obviously, a food and water dish. I would recommend, if you are get a water dish with like little ledges on it. So I'll just open my enclosure. Just 1 second. See, this water dish has little ledges on it there. So if you get a baby, that's perfect, as if some bearded dragons can accidentally go in there and get stuck and they will essentially die. I've spoken about most of this stuff, but I thought I should just make a new video of substrate. This bearded dragon was raised on sand. I was going to get sand, but I thought maybe just wait a week or so until he gets used to the whole enclosure, until he puts sand in, because sand, as most people know if they have bearded dragons, it can be quite dangerous. But a lot of people have, it's quite controversial, the sand or no sand, as bearded dragons, they're from the desert, so they're from the sand and they eat on the sand and all that type of stuff. But the bearded dragons we get around here in Australia, in the not in the country, but in the more suburban places, we don't have a lot of sand. And that's where these people are breeding them from. And yeah, they might be raised on sand, but still be particularly careful of how you feed them. Not feed them, how you feed them, and just make sure that they're not ingesting too much sand with their meals. My bearded dragon is quite good with that. If I've put him on like a rock with a bit of sand, and I put a cricket on there, and he just gets the cricket, no sand at all. Feeding. I've already gone through most of this, but I feed my bearded dragon. You probably won't be able to see it. I feed my bearded dragon crickets, as at the store, he loves crickets. The website the store gets it off is an extremely good website. It's called Live Foods Unlimited, and they have extremely good deals. Like, it was $5 for this, and there's about, like, say, 60 crickets in this. Like, that's okay. It's not too bad. Like, I paid $5 for this one, which is quite a rip-off, and they give you hardly any crickets, and look how small it is compared to that. Exactly. Crickets are probably the best thing you can feed to your bearded dragons, as they are good. They're fast, so you can run around, get activity when you put them in the cage. He or she will run after them. I tend to take my bearded dragon and put him in this corner when I feed him, so the bearded dragons don't run right under the rocks, and then he can't get them. And it's good to, with especially baby bearded dragons, as sometimes, most of the time, they're not that hungry. It's good to feed them as much as they can eat in 10 minutes of their feeding time. Otherwise, if they don't eat the couple of crickets, or one or two crickets that are in their cage, I'd advise you to take them out, as they can annoy him. And my bearded dragon didn't get any sleep like the first night, because I just there was like 5 crickets in his enclosure, and they were chirping or creaking or whatever they do all night, and he didn't get any sleep. But yeah, there's not much more really. You've got the heat bulb, the UVB bulb, a heat mat. A lot of people have different things with heat mat, as in my bearded dragon, the first couple of nights he slept on the floor, and obviously he's not getting that much heat. I personally turn my lights off at night time, as the pet shop I bought them from said that's what they do, because that's just what they do. As in the desert, you're supposed to be making it most similar to what their life would be if they were living in the desert. And the desert, yes, it does get very hot in the day, and then it can drop to 1 to 2 degrees at night. So it's best to turn your thing off. I did have an infrared bulb, but I took it off because it wasn't giving enough heat, obviously, because it was infrared and it was for night viewing, not day viewing. And that's really most of it. You should definitely change your water every 2 days. I change it every 2 days, and just see if he's eating his greens. He hasn't been too much on his greens since he's still a baby, and he doesn't eat his greens a lot. And so that's it. Repti John here, out.